The man is making his way around the plains, man. He's making some nice hires and trying to keep some of the big time players down there at Auburn. We talking about Alex Golesh being down there, man. So far, so good for him. And even had the quote of the year for me, man. He said, I don't golf, I don't fish,
Yeah.
I don't have hobbies, I just ball. John, man, what's your thoughts on Alex Golden so far, man?
I'll be
Down there
honest
at
with you.
Auburn, and do you think this is a good hire for him?
I'm really mixed on if it's a good hire. I was at the beginning. My initial reaction, I was very mixed. The more research I did on Alex Golesh, I don't think if you're Auburn, you're going to question this hire anymore. From my personal standpoint, I think you got a great coach. I think more than anything, you got a coach that's a culture setter, right? He's not going to try to conform to the players and what's in place. I think Alex Golesh has very much established himself as a place that comes into an organization and he builds it as he sees fits, and he recruits those players to support that. And if you need to look anywhere else, just go look at South Florida. You know what I mean? What he did with that program when he was at Tennessee, he knows the SEC, right? He knows the landscape. He knows he's got a lot of contacts in the SEC. He's been up north around Illinois, Toledo, and all those areas as well. So Alex Golesh is definitely a guy that came from the bottom and worked his way down to the top. You know what I mean? And you have to give somebody like that so much respect. And that's why I said at the beginning, you question it because you see these coaches, you know, they call them Sunbelt Billy. They came from, you know, from Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, over to Florida and stuff like this. But when you really look at Alex Golesh, this dude has really cut his teeth in coaching and working his way from the bottom up. So my initial reaction is, man, I think Auburn couldn't ask, in my opinion, for a better hire when you look at the landscape of the coaching carousel this year, especially.
Man, Coach Al, how you feel about Alex Golders, man? 'Cause I think you like this brother, man.
Yeah, I do. Because one reason I like him because he has a coaching philosophy that I really like. In other words, the guy's no nonsense.
Yep.
Okay, he is no nonsense, and he is passionate about what he does as a football coach. That is his life. The other piece, he has great support at home from his wife.
Yep.
She knows exactly who he is. Kind of sounds like the guy that won 6 natties at Alabama.
Very similar.
I mean, now the only drawback that I have with Golis is when you go and look at start looking down at some of the stats. If you look at what South Florida did offensively with the run game and the pass game, they were prolific. However, they were ranked 130th in time of possession. That won't cut it in the SEC.
Nope.
Guess who was 123rd? Tennessee. Okay. So they run a very similar offense. Okay. And I think a lot of teams know that recipe. They've cracked the code on Tennessee to a degree. But is he going to elevate Auburn? Absolutely. Is he going to find players that fit his system that want to play for him? Because he's a player's coach.
Oh my.
Okay.
Gosh,
yes. He can motivate a cockroach, man. I mean, that guy can have a cockroach wearing shoulder pads. Okay.
That was good.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, as much as I hate to admit it, because we like to F them trees,
True.
I think they got one. If they treat him right and they give him time, he's retained DJ. That right there is a big deal.
Oh,
You've kept half of your locker room happy.
man.
Okay. He has a fun offensive system to play in. So it means you're going to keep your freshman quarterback, that left-handed kid. All right. I don't know what you're going to do with Jackson, but the point is about the hire. That's what we're talking about. I like him. Period. I like him. He's a good guy.
And I have to speak on that again, Coach Al. You nailed it right on the head. When you look at a South Florida team, and I'm bringing that up because it's most recent, they play with toughness, and it seems like, and from you coaches that I listen to out there so much, it's so good when you see a team take the personality of that coach, and everywhere Alex Golesh goes, either that offense or that team seems to take on his personality, which is just toughness, grit. They're going to fight for every yard. And I hate to say it with you because F them trees 100%, like Brisky said.
Yeah.
I do think Auburn kind of sneakily got possibly the best coach out there during this coaching carousel. I don't want to say it, but
Yeah.
ugh.
I would say this too about that guy. I just think back. I think the 20 years that I coached ball and all the positions that I worked in, I worked my way up. You know, I'm a guy that I don't have a glowing resume as a player. I don't claim that. I'm a guy that was marginal as a player, but I'm passionate about football. Okay, and in the 20 years that I've been associated with coaching ball, I was around some great coaches. Now, what am I saying? I've I've coached several positions. I worked my way up. Alex Golesh worked his way up, and when you do that and you work to his level as a head coach, that means you grasp the entire game, which means that you know what good looks like in special teams. You know what good looks like offense, defense. You know what good looks like when a coach really gets your philosophy on how you want to coach and play the game. You can coach your coaches because you got all that experience to draw on. Okay, not one specific thing. You usually get hired as a defensive coordinator. That's all you've ever done. This guy's coached everywhere. So to me, I think he draws upon all that experience, which creates confidence. That's why he's so confident. That's why when this guy's he commands the room. When he walks in, he gets to the podium, he commands the room. What you think he gonna command the locker room? That's the most important room right there. Right?
Yeah, man. Especially that's why I was trying to tell a lot of Auburn people, man. I understand, like I think my favorite hire out the cycle, of course, is John Summerall. But I was like, man, y'all didn't get like some second fiddle type guy. Y'all really got a dog on your hand. It's just how you guys gonna use them. Now I still believe those boosters play a huge part at that university. Not saying boosters don't play a huge part at every university, but we all know, being from this state, how Auburn is with those boosters. And can they get out the way and let him run the show, which a lot of people won't let you do. So I don't need a whole bunch of hands in the cookie jar. If I'm an Auburn fan, I don't want nobody interfering for what he has going on, man. Because if you don't, then you can possibly have a contender every year to possibly get into the playoffs, especially with it expanding going to 16 next year.
Yep.
So
is that next year, sis?
if I'm
It's
not
going to
mistaken,
16 next year?
I think so.
Wow.
So you get out the way, you can possibly get guys because you're gonna be forever little brother to Alabama. That's just what it is. You're gonna be forever little brother. But you can be competitive with them every year in the recruiting landscape and player wise, trying to get these guys. If you just let this guy do his job, man, because his track record speaks for itself. That's why I said, man, you seen when he was at Tennessee and Alabama played him when he was the offensive coordinator, how he lit Alabama up with Hendon Hooker and what's my boy now? I just had it.
Milton.
No, it wasn't Milton. It was
a receiver, a tall, lanky kid that was really fast. Hyatt, yeah.
Jalen Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt, yeah, Jalen Hyatt. And it just lit us up that day. That was him running the show, man. So if Auburn I feel like they get out their own way, man, they really got them one, man. They really do got them one. So I just want to ask this just finally, man. With them retaining DJ Durkin under him, which I thought was super important, and you keep a lot of those guys happy in that locker room, at least on the defensive side. Anybody else you think he needs to retain to have a successful year? Cause I seen one of the Auburn experts expecting 8 games, 8 wins next year. And I think that's high expectation for a first year coach. They could possibly lose a lot.
I would jump in right now because they're losing so many guys on the offensive line this year. I think they might want to retain that guy, the O-line coach, And the only reason I say it because it's a continuity kind of thing with the players they have, or maybe he's bringing his guy from South Florida who knows his offense. Okay, so we all know that's the engine to make the car go. All right. So what we've seen at Alabama is that Coach Cap didn't know this offense when he came in.
Yeah.
That I think put Alabama's offensive line development behind the curve because Cap is still learning that scheme. Right. So now for him to get out the gate fast, does he have time for Auburn's current offensive O-line coach to learn his scheme? So I think that's a critical position for him since DJ has the defensive side already locked down. You know, what are you going to have for the O-line coach?
Yeah. So Coach Al can speak alongside the operations side. You know, guys, I know more about recruiting. So, and I'll be honest with you, I really like Kenyatta Watson, the director of recruiting at Auburn, and what he's brought. Honestly, the past couple of years, he's kind of made it competitive with Alabama, getting some of these big time players. You look at Cam Coleman, right? Brings in Deuce Knight. I believe Molly Moore, is their
they lost him.
They lost Molly Moore?
No, they lost Kenyatta Watson.
I thought they were going to keep Kenyatta. So to me, that was a huge blow. I really do think that was a huge blow because Kenyatta was, in my opinion, he was that pivotal guy bringing in those Cam Colemans, bringing in Deuce Knight. So second fiddle up is going to be, I believe his name is, correct me if I'm wrong, Molly Moore. I believe his name, the director of recruiting operations should be him. So he'll probably step in and fill that role in the meantime. Who I thought once again has done a really good job as well. But man, losing Watson, that I didn't know they lost him, and that's a huge blow in my opinion. Because I thought once again when Hugh Freeze got him rolling, I thought he kind of could go play golf, go fishing, right? So and let him take the reins from that standpoint. In all seriousness, so I think that's a huge blow then.
Yeah, man, because it's really going to affect the recruit. That's why I said you lost. Because I know he took the GM position at his alma mater, Boston College, which I didn't know that was.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, that was a big time pickup by Boston College, but a huge loss.
Yeah, that's huge man.
Pickup for Boston College.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of near and dear to me, man. Because when I was over at BT, there's two of the guys that I coached that were freshmen this year at BT at Boston College. You know, so I kind of like that move with BC, frankly, because I got two guys.
Don't be surprised.
And the DC is a good friend of mine, Tim Lewis. You know, so we coached together at BT. So
don't be surprised if you see some players up there at Boston College, man. That
sure.
Probably, or at least give them a look, man. Because I feel like, man, that's like you said, man. He was one of those pivotal guys in Auburn's camp to get all these big time guys. Now the decision. I think one of my final questions for y'all. And you brought up Deuce Knight. They have Byron Brown. I think it's Byron Brown or Bryce Brown. I don't know why. I just forgot his name just that quick.
Yeah.
But down there in South Florida, had a good year. Gave Alabama hell. But if they bring him in, do you think Deuce Knight stays? Or Ashton Daniels? Do
you want my honest opinion?
I want nothing but the truth, man.
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't like saying these things, but I don't think Brown shows up at the Hills. If he does, I don't think he's starting. I think from what I've seen from the practice film, from everything I've seen from Deuce Knight, that dude is a lot. I'm not saying he's Keelan Russell. I'm not saying that by any far stretch of the mind. But when you look at the factors, once again, we keep having to revert back to this. NIL plays a role in this stuff, guys. You can't have a $3 million quarterback sitting on the bench behind a guy that's making $100,000, right? So it's the same thing in the NFL. You're not going to have somebody make $20 million when there's a guy making $1 million starting. It just doesn't happen. It's not good. Somebody's getting fired if it does. And I'm not saying that should be the case, but I think Deuce Knight has the talent. I think he's too much talent. If Brown comes in, it's to help with the system, a lot like what I thought Austin Mack did at Alabama. With obviously Kalen DeBoer, what was supposed to be Ryan Grubb in year one, to help kind of reform that system with Jeremy Bernard, you know what I mean, with Parker Brailsford at center and all that good stuff. You could maybe see that transition into that period. But I think Deuce Knight, Ashton Daniel, look what he did. Is he going to be back next year? Can't remember if he's a senior that's redshirt.
No, they retained his red shirt.
They did
So
retain it.
mhm.
So there you go. So he'll be back. He's showing you some flashes. So it would be very hard for me to say, for him to show up, period, to be honest with you, other than to help.
I don't think he comes.
I
I
agree with
don't think he
Coach Al.
comes. Yeah. I don't think he comes because those guys do fit what Golesh like to do.
Yes.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both.
They fit this scheme to a T. Okay. So I don't think he's gonna bring Brown on. I don't.
Yeah, man. Because I feel like Auburn just gonna have to keep Deuce Knight. They're gonna two guys they definitely gonna have to keep. I had the three guys mainly that they need to keep. They got Durkin. They need to keep Cam Coleman.
There you go.
And they need to keep Deuce Knight.
Exactly.
So they have one of the three so far. And so we're only gonna see what's gonna happen after time passes. But y'all let us know in the comment section what you guys think. Is this a great hire? How you think Alex Golesh is gonna do at Auburn? So just let us know in the comment section. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And appreciate you all. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.